Hello guys, so in this program I will show how to create an Android Studio which get IP address from a network. So this is how the source code will look like. So first we have to open the source code. So this is how our output program would look like. So we have your two buttons which will get IP and then get broadcast IP. So first part, so we have those manifest file layouts and the Java. So let's start first with Android Studio. So on Android Studio, just have to click Start New Android Project, and then our project name here is Get IP. Our set is just Get IP, and then just have to click Next, Next, then Finish. So here we just have to wait for those Gradle thing to finish before we can start our code here. So it will just take some of time before this Gradle project info would finish. So in Android Studio also we have to make sure that the process running would be finished before we will start doing that code. Before that, because we might experience some kind of error in those Gradle if this building Gradle would not finish yet. So you will notice I have this red wiggled line under main activity. So later on you can fix that. So let's start first with manifest. So this is the manifest code. So on Android Studio, we can look on manifest under app folder. Then we have manifest. And then just have to click that Android manifest. So as we observe, first thing that we need to do here is to look on our code observed, which are set by default and which are not. So we have here application line. So I think this line doesn't have that by default. So you just have to copy that uses SDK, after that uses permission. Then place that on this line. So just simply observing which part of the line you will paste that. So you just have to base on the source code always. So we paste it here. Then observe it again. Yeah, so this line, I think this set of lines is already set by default. So we have here. So no need to copy that line. So we can now proceed on the next part, which is the layout. So in Android Studio, we can look on those layouts under the folder REST. So we have here REST, and then layouts. We have folder layout, and then activity main. In activity main, we have the text view and then the design view. So first, it was set by this. Yeah, so you observe it should be relative layout. By default, Android Studio version is set to constraint layout. So we will change this first to relative layout. So we just have to replace this line with our relative layout. Oops, we have some error this. So just undo, I think. Yeah, for us to let's do it again. Okay, so let's remove this line. Yeah, then paste. Yeah, undo, and then again change this constraint layout thing into a relative layout. Yeah, now it works. And then if you look, we have some by default we have this set text view. As if you look on the design view, we will see this hello world thing. So every time that we create program, we have that hello world. If you, I think that you can see that, you just have to click Optim and then material light. So first we will remove that hello world text view. So this is the code for that. So just have to remove that. We don't need to use that text view because we have other tools here that we will use, which are this. Okay, so before we copy those tools, as we seen, we have some lines here which are not included by default. So those are these properties. Yeah, we have this Android layout and tools activity main already. So we just have to copy the rest of the codes. So we have here just Android padding properties. Place that in between that line. And then if you notice, we have that red error. So don't worry about that. We will fix it later on. So at first we will just copy the remaining lines of code. Yeah, so from this line bottom up to line before relative layout. Okay, then let's paste that within the area, and then you will see we don't have so much error here. So except for that properties, properties. So with this, we just have actually to create an additional file, which is the daemons XML. So on the source code that is placed after the relative layout part. I think we have this to do this daemons.xml thing. Yeah. So how do we do that? Just have to click that values folder. Okay, then right click new values resource file, and then we have to type daemons.xml. Click OK. And then we have to paste the lines of codes in between these resources syntax. Yeah. So after that, so yeah, in between that, this is the resources syntax. Okay, so we'll paste it there. Then let's look on our main design. So yeah, it's already fixed because the XML for that is already needed. So I think no need for us to fix the design thing because we don't have any error at all. Yeah, that's wiggle red line is just common. It just tells you that it's not yet used because we don't have yet the main activity. So as we use that on our main activity, those red wiggle line will be removed. Let's now proceed with the main activity Java. So these are main source code. So that is placed under Java folder. So we have we have to switch on that main activity to Java, or just have to click Java folder and then it's located in the first folder. Okay, so that's the other way on how you look for main activity. So I can observe the source code. We just have to copy the rest of the lines of the code which are not set by default. What are those things by default? So these two import line are set by default already. So you just have to copy the rest of the import lines. So we have the first two import lines which is not set by default. You can place it before that import thing or after. It doesn't matter as long as you have all those import lines with your Android Studio. Okay, then we will use this other import libraries within our program. So make sure you don't overlook or you don't forget to copy those lines of codes. Make sure copy it all. Then as we observe again, we have this override thing. Yeah, these three lines and then the public class main activity there. Yeah, you have the override, but we've seen that there's a code prior with that override, so we will copy it. Same. Copy that lines of code and then place that before override or after the public class main activity. Okay. Then next. So you will see in here we also have the other code that we will place after that send content view. So it will start from the line here, text, then going down to the rest of the lines of code. So we just copy that and then paste. And then if you see, we pasted prior with the two curly brackets, so we just remove the two curly bracket. Since we already paste it, but notice that we have some error here. So let's look on that error. Sometimes it happens, but for the rest, might experience we don't have that red wiggle line. If you experience that red wiggle line, this is how we solve that. So at first we have that red wiggle line. We have two syntax with that error. So get system service. I think in new Android Studio, we can fix that by either typing application. Is it application? I forget that. No. Application. What's the properties? I don't think it's the application something. Anyway, we could just move our cursor towards that error and then see. Yeah, try changing get system service to get application. So we have to use that get system application context. So we have it here, then put dot in between them, and it will be 6 now. Okay, so other error that we have here, that menu, so it happens, actually sometimes it happens. So I suggest you just have to double click that menu, red line, then double click and then press Alt Enter. So you will show this notification, then create main XML. Just have to click OK, and then it will be fixed. That's it. That's how you fix those lines of code, if in case you experience that. But if you didn't experience that, no need to do that. Again, that's Alt Enter, and then you will see that create main thing. So since we don't have any error here, so observe it. I think we can run this application on our device. Now, looking on my device, so this is my actual device. So I have some advertisements. So we will see the output on this device. Okay, let's look at around. So click run, then run our app. My device name is, yeah, the Samsung SM something, SMT58N0. I actually use this software to show you what's the actual output of the device on my screen. So you just have to wait for the Gradle installation to finish before we can look on that output. It would take some time before it will display. Yeah, I think we're almost there. Yeah, Gradle finish build. So we have here the output. So we have two buttons, get IP and get broadcast IP. So I click get IP, so it show IP address of my device, and then broadcast IP, it will show the broadcast IP of the network which I connected. So that's it. This is how you create this program. You can try it on your own. So just have to follow the steps that I provided you. Okay. Thank you.